Waters like these and not tap water? How come our idea of having a good time always involves alcohol? All of these things, or our idea of good food involves lots of sugar and starch and fats. Just thinking about these and being a bit more careful about the kind of things that we get as choices, I think will be a very small, important way of appreciating and respecting Gandhiji's legacy and trying to bring his practices into our own lives today. Thank you.
When I began writing the lectures, which was supposed to be written very simply, I realized that I was not being true to the task of trying to bring across something important about that it meant to the younger generation, many of whom may have forgotten. And then I decided to tell it as a story. And I myself began to research something which I had not done for a very long time, which is I simply began to read through Gandhi's last utterances over the last weeks of his life. And when I did that, I realized that Gandhi was speaking to us across time. The way his ideas are put together, it's very clear that it's a conversation. Everything in Gandhi's collected works also, which is available for all of you who take an interest in it, it's in the form of a conversation, that discourses and dialogues. And I realized that at the tail end of his life, he had undertaken a gigantic task, and that if we only cared to listen to him, we would see that he said something so important that it resonates even today, and it would be of great value to us to pay attention. I realized in short that his last utterances over this last few weeks, and especially over one particular week that I'm going to talk about, were in effect his last testament to the people of India and Pakistan. Let me at this stage point out that he said both India and Pakistan are my country. I'm not going to take a passport for going to Pakistan. So, he died at a moment when he was very lonely and he was a citizen of both countries or of neither country, and there was a lot of ambivalence and ambiguity regarding his life. Ashish Nandy has written a whole essay on the assassination of Gandhi, indicating somewhere that people were fed up of him, large numbers of people maybe wanted him to die. And we are speaking now on the anniversary of his death, or tomorrow will be the anniversary of his death. Until the time when I was a schoolboy, and even later, I remember that on Gandhi Shahadat Divas, there would always be a moment's silence. We would stand up, there would be a siren blown over the city, and we would know this is the time that Gandhi was assassinated. Now we do not know. Perhaps many people do not even know the significance of January 30th. Anyway, I will try to sum up a few salient events and utterances of Gandhi in the first half of what I'm going to say. And then I will try to give you some kind of interpretation of why I see this as his last will and testament in the second part. He went on fast on the 13th of January 1948. Now this is very, very important. This was his last fast, January the 13th, 1948, till January the 18th. And it was to be his 15th fast in public life, but some people have a different calculation about the number of fasts he undertook. But be that as it may, this fast, many people say Gandhi went on fast to get 55 crores transferred from India to Pakistan. See, he was betraying the country, and so on and so forth. Actually, the immediate reason for this fast was his demand that the mosque in Mehrauli, which is Bakhtiar Chishti, be returned to Muslims. It had been seized. Now, I will just start with, as I said, I want to give you a few, I want to make you listen to his own words on this, but I'll proceed step by step. This is 1947 September is when Gandhi arrived in Delhi, 9th September. And he arrived just after coming back from from Calcutta. He was en route. He wanted to travel to what became Pakistan, but en route he stopped in Delhi. So the last few months of his life was all spent in trying to grapple with the consequences of partition and the terrible communal outrage and upsurge that was taking place in those days. It started with the, the so-called Great Calcutta Killing of 1946, which some of you may have heard of, which was in August 1946. And after that, there was a series of riots going on in Bihar. And soon after that, Gandhi departed for Noakhali in Bengal, and he spent several months in Noakhali trying to sort of bring about some kind of communal peace. Now, this was the time when India was also becoming independent, and Gandhi was isolated. He was isolated from high politics, but he was very close to his people. This is the most astonishing thing. All his lieutenants were all engaged in high political activities. Gandhi was actually spending more and more, most of his time, with the most ordinary and humble people of India. Now, at this time in September of 1947, there were riots which took place, and then Gandhi decided that he had to move to the area where rioting was going on, that is in Punjab. And he came in a train, he came to Delhi with the idea of proceeding further. But when he came to Delhi, he realized that he could not leave. There were large numbers of Muslims who had been killed in Delhi. On the other hand, there were thousands and thousands of Hindus and Sikhs who were refugees who had been suffered from communal massacres and riots in Punjab and who were coming into Delhi. Delhi was a gigantic armed camp and a refugee camp. In Diwan Hall, Chandni Chowk, Kingsway camp, there were the Hindu and Sikh refugees from Punjab. But in Purana Kila, Jamia Millia, there were large numbers of Muslim refugees from inside Delhi itself and from the outskirts. Mewatis had come from Mewat region, they had taken refuge. There were riots against Mewatis. And so Delhi was full of refugees of all types. And Gandhi started working amongst them. He traveled to Panipat, he traveled to Gurgaon, he lived in Delhi. He was told that he could not live in the Bhangi Basti where he always used to live. He used to live in the sweepers' colony whenever he was in Delhi. But he was disallowed from doing so by the Home Minister, feared for his safety, and he was then put up in what is now Gandhi Smriti, that is the Birla House. And from there he was constantly in communication with hordes of people ranging from politicians to very, very humble people who came and visited him. Now these were the days when he was engaged in some of the thoughts and his dialogic utterances on what was going on around him. He would also hold regular prayer meetings. Now in these prayer meetings, for instance, he would read out passages from the Quran, he would read out passages from the Gita, from the Bible. And in those days you find more and more people objecting. People would object to him reading anything from the Quran, and then he would keep silence. This happened towards the end of his life also. It happened in 1948 also. That people would object because they would be full of hatred, and then he would say that there is nothing contained here which you could possibly object. And repeatedly there would be objections, and finally on one occasion there were 3 days in a row where he was prevented from reading out from the Quran. And then finally on the appeal of people and other people in the hall, he was allowed to do that. Now,